Thank you very much for those who are interested in what we're doing in the Wheel Basin. I put this picture up because all the swampies and the NIMBYs around Surrey and Sussex think this is what we're going to make Gatwick Airport look like. And at the end I'll show you, for this very short presentation, what the real world now actually does look like. But that was less than 100 years ago in Huntington Beach, California. What is Doriemus? We're a UK onshore oil production focused company. We own 10% of the Brockham well, we own 20 going to 30% of the Lidsey well, 10% of the famous Gatwick Gusher, and 5% of half the Isle of Wight. The Wheel Basin is a game changer for the UK. The press hated it, the regulators hated it, but we found it, and I don't care what people think. But for 100 to 200 years out of those cliffs in the south coast of England, that is the Kimbridge limestone formations and the Kimbridge shales, and as you get towards Surrey and Sussex, they become oil rich and oil flows. And you can see those little bottles of oil there. That was from the flow tests at Horse Hill, which was the largest onshore oil production flow of any discovery well in the UK's history. The Wheel Basin. The total Wheel Basin, and these are Nutex numbers, and Schlumberger's weren't too far out either, 124 billion barrels oil in place. Yes, that is bigger than the North Sea. 19.5 billion barrels in the Kimbridge limestones within that 1,260 square miles. The original thought was you won't be able to get much out. Horse Hill proved that that's wrong, and I think Brockham, when we flow test that very shortly, will prove that you can actually get a lot of that oil out. It all began with the Gatwick Gusher. About a year and a half ago, a crazy South African said, let's go drill an oil well at Gatwick Airport. I said, you've got to be kidding. So we did it. And we drilled through the Kimbridge limestones, and there it was. 1,688 barrels of oil per day through restricted flow rates, flowing to surface from the Portland and 2 of the Kimbridge limestone units, a record rate for any UK discovery well. You can read that in your own time, but basically from a Horse Hill perspective, we're going to be long-term flow testing. It's going to take a couple of years to get production permits, but it won't be long before the Gatwick Gusher becomes prime oil supply for the UK economy. And that's what the oil looks like. And that's actually pretty good oil. That's better than North Sea Brent. The Brockham oil field, it looks even better than the Gatwick Gusher. And that's why I'm really interested in that, because that's our first commercial Kimbridge production potential ever in the UK will come from Brockham because it's an approved production licence. We found the same formations there, except they're thicker than what we found at Horse Hill. There's more gas drivers in it, and there's more oil in place. So we're quite excited about the potential of this. And unlike Horse Hill, where we only perforated like 200 feet of the Kimbridge limestones, we're going to be perforating around about 900 feet in the Kimbridge formation here. That is one of the biggest perforation jobs ever in the UK. Why are we excited about Brockham? Because for the first time we've put these tools down the hole that says not only is the limestone naturally fractured by nature, but so are the Kimbridge clays, and that all looks like Swiss cheese. So not only will we be perforating the limestones, but we'll be perforating the clays, and no, it's not fracking, it's conventional. So we're talking here potentially 300 metres of pay. And that's all going to happen quicker than people think. First time in the UK history, I think the second time in the world, a Weatherford tool. You can actually look at the side of the wall. There are all the fractures in the clays. The clays themselves will flow, not just the limestones. UK energy consumption, 2014. Petroleum's about a third. But you can't use, the whole idea of oil is it's not just about driving your car. It makes pharmaceuticals, it makes everything. It's a very important part of the energy mix. Everyone bangs on about renewables. We need more renewables. Renewables can only generate electricity. Oil is not used for electricity generation. Renewable projects need oil-based products and components. Without oils, you can't have a renewables business. The UK, 1.4 million barrels of oil a day, and most of it goes into land, sea and air transport. This is the key. Right now, the North Sea produces 800,000 barrels a day of oil. The rest is imported. By 2030, it goes the other way. Do you want to rely on the Russians and the Norwegians and the Middle East to keep your lights on? Bottom line. Unless you guys come in and support the UK oil industry, onshore and offshore, you've got some other bugger sitting there with a switch around your throat to make your grandmother feel cold in the winter. So it's up to you to support your own industry. I've taken it this far, you've got to take it the rest of the way. Whether you buy Doriemus, whether you buy Angus, whether you buy UCOG, whether you buy the whole basket. If you're a greenie, you sell them all. But I tell you what, the lights will still go out. And that first picture I had with those wells at Huntington Beach, this is what the New World Oil looks like. That's an octopus pad. There's 18 wells that can go down from that pad, the size of 2 tennis courts. That's what the new UK onshore oil production is going to look like. It isn't going to impact anybody. You'll hardly even know it's there. That's us. I think I've beat my time.